Hi everyone, welcome back. And this week I'll be working on McCall 6355. I'm trying to make view D, but I'm going to use the sleeves from view C. I just want to point out that this is a Palmer and Pletch fit pattern. So I know that there are a few people that watch the videos that are new to sewing. If you want to start customizing the fit of your garment, these Palmer and Pletch fit patterns are a great place to start. As you can see here, there's a whole bunch of different places that you could adjust your pattern to make it fit you better. You could do a sway back adjustment, a full bust adjustment, and as you can see, a bevy of different adjustments here. And this pattern has the guidelines on the actual pattern pieces to help you with that. So this is the front pattern for the dress. Now as you can see here, it has bust darts and it has the center front dart. I decided that I wanted to eliminate both darts because I'm using a striped fabric and I didn't want the darts to obstruct the way the stripes were running on the actual dress. So I asked one of my friends to help me out, and she made a video on how to do this. So I'm going to link it for anyone who would like to know how to rotate your darts if you want to remove them from one place to another. So this is the fabric that I'm going to be using, and I made a new pattern so I could eliminate the darts, and I cut out the pattern, and this is exactly what it's going to look like. And this is the back pattern of the dress. As you can see, there is one center dart. I am going to stay stitch the neckline to prevent it from stretching while I'm working with the pattern because it is in a dress. And I am going to hand baste the sides. And the reason why I hand baste the sides of this dress is because I'm trying to match up those stripes before I even go on the sewing machine, and that really does help a lot. So let's see how it works out. So the dress has been stitched up, the back darts have been made, and then I checked the fit, and as you can see here, this was the initial basting stitches. This was the 5/8 of an inch seam that was made, and then when I tried it on, I had to go back and take it in a little bit, which wasn't bad because at the end of the day, this is a sloper pattern, and I did expect to make some type of adjustments to get it to fit a little better. I could see where the front darts was needed because this area here is still a little full, so I'm hoping when I add the lining that it kind of takes out a little bit of the ease, or else I'll just come in and scoop it out a little bit on the waistline. Yes, I am adding a lining to this dress because of the fact that the fabric is very thin, and you can see that. And plus, do you see this rippling right here? This tells me that this fabric is going to stretch out if I don't add a little bit of stability, a little bit of support with a lining. So I am going to cut that out right now. These are the lining pieces. I already cut them out. I am using the original back, and I'm using the front, the one that I modified, as the two pieces of the lining. Now as for the lining itself, this is called Jet Set, and I get it at Joann's. This fabric it's a knit, and it's really thin. Like, you're not even going to be able to see how thin it is. Like, it's like opaque, like you could kind of see through it in some sense. This is the one that I use all the time whenever I'm lining my knits. So the lining has been fully installed. I basted at the neckline, and I basted at both armholes. This pattern also suggests that you put in a side zipper. You know how I feel about zippers on the dresses, so I totally omit it. And right now I am at this point in the pattern, which I just showed you, and I'm going to attach the neck binding right now. This is the finished neck binding, and seeing that the pattern talked about neck bindings, I'm going to take a few minutes to explain it also. Now, in terms of neck binding, they gave you two different methods, and I went with method 1, which is to seam up the neck binding and then attach it to the right side of the pattern and then flip it over and you're done. Well, they made note on how to check for the fitting of the actual neckline, because when you're using this thin neck binding, it usually causes gapping or gaping, however you say it, and you have to make sure that you take out that ease. So as I said, you're going to seam up your neck binding. You're going to attach it to your neckline, and then you're going to go in the mirror and you're going to check it. So let's just say this is your actual neck binding piece. When you check it, if there's any type of gapping, you have to come back to your table, working area, take it off, make an additional seam. So if you're going to do it in 1/2 inch increments or however you're going to do it, and then once that's done, you're going to go back and do this step all over again, each and every time until you get all that gaping out. Now, one more thing is very important. After you check for all the gaping is out, you have to make sure that your neck binding is evenly distributed along the whole circumference of your neckline to prevent any puckering. And once that is done, you should be fine. Now back to my neckline. I actually had a lot of problems with my neckline. It took me an hour and a half to get out all the gaping out of it. And this was the amount of the neck binding I actually chopped off, which is 3 inches. So now that it's done, let's go on to the sleeves. And this is the finished armhole. Well, as you can see, it's short, and I'll tell you why. Originally, I had planned to make it the 3/4 sleeve version, but I saw these really strange drag lines on the sleeve, which looks like this. And I really didn't want to figure out how to fix it, so I decided to cut it just above those drag lines and just be done with it. So I am going to hem up the dress in the lining, and we'll see how it turned out. And this is how the way it turned out. And if you hear a lot of noise in the background, it's my neighbors. It's Sunday, so everybody's out doing what they need to do. And I'll take you around to the back. Would I recommend this pattern? Absolutely. I think it's a great pattern for beginners. I don't think I'm going to make it again because I had some problems easing the sleeves, but it's a really good one to work with. So let me show you guys the look of the day.